Picturesquely planted along the banks of the Cache-la-Poudre River, Our Lady of the Valley Parish announces the presence of Christ the King to northern Colorado. Where once thrived the lowly sugar beet, in one of the fastest growing parts of the Archdiocese of Denver, today, hearts come alive in Our Blessed Lady's company. Now, from the Rectory, here is the Windsor Catholic Report with Father Samuel Morehead.
Greetings, this is Father Sam. Welcome back to the Rectory. It's good to have you here for another Windsor Catholic Report. As you and I gather, we're right smack dab in this beautiful and grace-filled season of Lent. We have reached the fourth Sunday of Lent this weekend, and this is Laetare Sunday, a Sunday in which we're bid to rejoice. And we even take a little bit of a minor pause from the exterior solemnity of the penance of the season by, instead of wearing purple vesture, we now have rose vesture, so we'll have that on display this weekend at the Masses, and we're called to anticipate the glory of Easter on the horizon, less than a month out now. So as we continue our Lenten journey and let the Lord still do his work in us, we do so very much oriented to the promise of Easter. As we continue in the Lenten season, we still have the great activities in the life of the parish. On Fridays, at 5 o'clock, our young people can start gathering, and at 5:30, we're going to have the Children's Stations of the Cross each Friday in Lent. In that 5 o'clock time frame all the way until 7, we've got our Lenten suppers of various sorts on the Fridays of Lent. And then at 7 p.m. each Friday, we have the Stations of the Cross prayed in the church. And that's more traditional praying of the Stations of the Cross. On Sundays, for our young adults, those in their 20s and their 30s, we have a young adult Bible study that's been going on. It's never too late to join, 7 p.m. in the hall, and that's for young adults on the Sunday evenings of Lent. Just a reminder, Holy Week. That is what we're looking forward to at the very end of the month, that last bit of March to the first bit of April. We will have Palm Sunday, of course, the last Sunday of March, and all of the Mass times are normal. At each of them, you can receive palms blessed. We will only have a formal large procession into the church at the 10 a.m. Mass, though all the other Masses will have an interior celebration for Palm Sunday. Then, on Holy Thursday, we will have the Mass of the Lord's Supper, in which we recall how Christ instituted the Eucharist, the priesthood, and gave us the example of perfect charity. That will be at 6:30 p.m. in the church. That will end, as it often does most years, about an hour and a half later, at about 8 p.m. At the end of the Mass of the Lord's Supper, we will process into the hall to the altar of repose to begin a time of Eucharistic vigil and waiting with our Lord as if we were in the Garden of Gethsemane with him. That time of Eucharistic waiting with the Lord will go all the way until midnight. Then, on Good Friday itself, we will have confessions available in the morning at about 9 o'clock with the help of multiple priests. Then we will have the Good Friday commemoration of the Passion of our Lord, the Good Friday service, at the traditional hour of our Lord's death, 3 p.m. That will be in the church. And then at 7 p.m., the Stations of the Cross back in the church on Good Friday. On Holy Saturday, we will have the Easter Vigil start at 9 p.m. As is the ancient practice and tradition of the church, that has to start after nightfall, and there can be no earlier anticipated Mass. So no 4 p.m. Mass on that first Saturday of April, Holy Saturday, the Vigil of Easter. Instead, only the largest and most important Mass of the year, the Easter Vigil, which starts at 9 and should take us to about midnight. Then, let's now introduce to you the full Easter lineup of Masses this year. Mark your calendar. Of course, the Easter Vigil, 9 p.m. in the church here at Our Lady of the Valley. Then on Easter Sunday itself, here's your Mass options. We will have a 6 a.m. Mass over at St. Mary's in Ault. All the rest of these on the list now are back over here in Windsor. At 7:30, we'll have a Mass in the church. At 7:45, a Mass in the hall. 10 a.m., a Mass in the church. And at 10:15, a Mass in the hall. At both of the hall Masses, we will not have incense. So if incense is a matter of sensitivity for you, you're invited to go to Mass in the hall at those respective times. We will then have, as we always do each Sunday, a time of Eucharistic adoration and Vespers starting at 4 p.m., Vespers somewhere around 4:40, and then at 5 p.m., the last Mass of Easter Sunday itself in the church. So there's your Mass lineup. More of that will be out in future weekends in the bulletin, flock note, etc. But for now, you've got it there and you've heard it from my own lips. We're looking forward to that celebration of our Lord's resurrection. Just a reminder, we've got the Women's Day of Faith coming up after Easter. That's on Saturday, the 18th of April. Our speaker will be Teresa Tomeo. And you can see sign-up information in the narthex. We've got stuff in the bulletin, the flock note, and it's a great, well-known, internationally acclaimed speaker, and right here in Windsor. So, ladies, please come and let this be a gift to you and to your deepening faith, the Women's Day of Faith this year. Some special upcoming things this weekend and next in the narthex. This weekend we'll have representation from the Annunciation Heights Youth Camp, our own Archdiocesan camp up in the mountains near Allens Park and Estes Park. They will be in the narthex to talk to families about going on camp this summer for anybody who's interested. Then a week from now, we will have the Bethlehem Olive Wood people back to offer sales of olive wood in time for Holy Week and Easter beyond. So those are some good things coming up. Speaking of things coming up, this is a great week for feasts. Of course, we've got the commemoration, the minor memorial of St. Patrick on the 17th this week. And then after that, the greater feast, the great solemnity of St. Joseph, the foster father of our Lord and the spouse of the Blessed Virgin Mary. That is every year on the 19th of March. It's so great a feast, it's a solemnity. And whenever you have a solemnity, even in the midst of Lent, it is not technically a day of fasting. So remember to celebrate St. Joseph, and more important, ask for his prayers and intercession for yourself, your family, and for the whole church this coming week as we celebrate his great feast day. But for now, that's our Windsor Catholic Report. I hope you have a wonderful week in front of you. Know the rejoicing of Laetare Sunday, the celebration of these great saints' days. I'll look forward to seeing you around in the life of the parish. See you very soon. God bless. See you soon.